Hello. Hello. I'd like to start today with a really cool, mellow, kind of bring out energy and together song by Jesse, very powerful singer named Barbara J. Hunt. And the name of the song is Come Alive. And so what I'd like to ask you to do is just breathe and ask yourself this question while this music is playing. And the question is, what am I here for? Why did I come? Like the Course in Miracles talks about how the goal determines the outcome. I always think about that. The goal determines the outcome. So if we can get clear on what our purpose is, then that determines how it's going to turn out. And the how of it is not our business. And I can see how we've been taught to do just the opposite. We tend not to stay focused on our purpose and spend all our time thinking about the how, which is exactly the opposite to how you manifest things. How is none of your business. How it's going to happen is going to be handled by God, universe, spirit. Being clear about your intention so that you don't have any opposing thoughts, that's the most important thing you can do to make sure that what you want happens. Because all of your fears and insecurities, or maybe feeling like you don't deserve it, analyzing it, all of that blocks it. So we're supposed to be getting the heck out of the way, learning how to get out of the way, and staying focused on our purpose. We spend all our time trying to figure out how to do everything, and don't stay focused on our purpose, because you ask the average person, what do you want? And they'll say, I don't know. I know what I can tell you what I don't want. And the Course in Miracles teaches that whenever you focus on what you don't want, you project it out into the world and you meet it. I don't want it. That's me throwing it out, but I'm going to meet it because everything on the outer is a reflection of what's going on the inner. So don't be so much about, like, for instance, if someone says to you, where would you like to go to dinner? And you say, well, I don't want to go to McDonald's, and I don't want to go to pizza, and I don't want to. Okay, what do you want? Where do you want to go? That would be the thing that you want to, because all the don't wants is what you're going to run into. So let's take this time to breathe, and we're going to talk about the development of trust today. All right? In case some of you all need some trust. Going on. Anybody beside me needs some trust? Would you raise your hand? All right. Okay. So here we go. And I'll do the guidelines, and just breathe during this. Breathe, focus in on what do I want? What do I want? What do I want?
You look at me, and I know what you want. Reach out your hand to touch me, save me, make me come alive.
Yes, make you come alive.
Your hands in my head.
You don't have to believe it.
Do you?
You don't have to accept anything I say today.
Put your mouth on mine, leave me shaking.
You don't have to welcome the ideas.
Make me come alive. But don't touch my soul tonight. Leave the flame burning bright.
Some of the ideas you may actively resist, find them hard to believe, and quite startling.
But the sound of skin to skin. Touch me again, leave me shivering.
Holy Spirit,
Come alive.
universal spirit, divine mind, make me come alive.
Don't set my heart alight, and I'll make my bed for two.
And that too should be you and your divine self, especially your higher self, God in you.
Take what I give as long as I'm giving it.
Yes. If you use the ideas, you'll see that they work. Touch all of me, Holy Spirit.
All over again.
All over again.
Don't touch my soul tonight.
That's right, ego. Don't touch my soul.
Leave my aching body.
Yes.
Life and
Use it and you'll see that it works. Use it and you will see that it works. But you have to use the truth.
you can
Analyzing it won't do it.
make me
It's the use of the ideas that will show you that the ideas are true. Make me.
Wow.
Isn't that beautiful?
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's just incredible music. It's Barbara J. Hall. You get the chance, check out her incredible music.
She local?
I met her in England.
Time thinking about it. Decided one on dead.
Okay, we're going to be in the Course in Miracles. If you got the book, we're going to be in the Teacher's Manual on page 9. And page 9 is what are the characteristics of God's teachers. And even though the Course in Miracles uses Christian terminology, I'm going to translate it by using the translations that it itself uses, which is love and fear primarily. It's only talking about love and fear. That's it. That's the only two kinds of thoughts we have, and those are the only two kinds of thoughts we manifest. I've had people ask me, why is it that we manifest what we call good and bad, or love or fear? And it's really a very simple explanation. If your thoughts create your reality, and your consciousness determines what happens to you, and everything that's happened to you is a result of your choices as a spiritual being, and you have opposing thoughts, some thoughts of love, some thoughts of fear, some thoughts of peace, some thoughts of conflict, well, it would make sense you see both those things in your world because that's what you're focusing on. So it's not really a complicated explanation. We see all the different things that we see because we have all the different thoughts that we have. And we switch back and forth between feeling loving one minute and fearful the next. And then we wonder why there is a lack of consistency in the people in our experience. They're reflecting you back. You're not always consistent, and I'm not always consistent in the way that I express myself, but I walk around expecting all my family and friends and strangers to be totally consistent in their love. What's wrong with that picture? I keep expecting my physical reality to reflect qualities back to me that I'm not exemplifying, as if someone who did have those loving qualities would be on the lookout for me. And I don't have those qualities. You know, it's like somebody being on their knees at night who are very loving and very centered and very certain of themselves and confident and loving and conscious and responsible and creative. I just don't imagine them sitting praying this morning to meet a dysfunctional, fearful person who doesn't know how to love, who gives so-so sexual experiences. It's very difficult for me to conceive that that's what somebody's praying for, but somehow I used to be that way and expected that this kind of person to show up and just want me. Anybody else know what I'm talking about? You know, like always wanting somebody who has qualities that I'm not exemplifying. So the Course is saying, well, what's the characteristics of God's teacher? Well, and that's the same as saying, well, what would be the characteristic of a person who really wanted to demonstrate love? And that's what we're really here to do. We're really here to learn how to be love demonstrators.
Yeah.
That's what we're here to do. And we know we qualify because it says right here in the book, at the beginning, you don't have none of these characteristics. I think that's hilarious. You're going to be a teacher of love, but let me tell you, you don't have the advanced characteristics of a teacher of love yet. So give yourself a break. So rule number one, if we're going to be demonstrators of joy, is we're going to not beat ourselves up for not being able to be consistently exemplifying the traits of a teacher of love. And I'll say what the 12 traits are. Trait number one, if you're a true demonstrator of God, is that you have trust, honesty, tolerance, gentleness, joy, defenselessness, generosity, patience, faithfulness, and open-mindedness. So we pretty much see that it is talking about qualities we haven't developed completely as yet. Is this true? All right, so, okay. So let's give each other a break and admit to everyone in this room we don't know how to do any of these things consistently in every circumstance. Agreed?
Yeah.
Agreed? Agreed? Okay. So the first trait, it starts out with trust. Trust is my favorite section, the development of trust. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the paragraph, and then I'm going to share what I see as the main point of the paragraph. Then I'll ask if there's any questions or clarification about that, and then respond to that, and then go to the next one. Is that fair? Is that cool?
Yes.
All right. It says, trust is the foundation on which, and I'm going to say, your ability to fulfill your function rests. Perception is the result of learning. So the way you perceive is the result of the way you learn to see things. The way you see things is the result of the way you've learned to see things. And it says, in fact, cause and effect are never separated. Cause and effect are never separated. And okay, so if I'm in an experience where I'm experiencing a result, the result can't be separate from me because the cause and the effect are never separated. So wherever I am, I'm somehow figured into the effect that I perceive. Because cause and effect are never, you can't be having an effect that's not connected to you. Even if a person got hit by a car across the street, they had to be there to get hit. There's no effect that you experience that you don't play an equal role in the effect. If you have a relationship that's giving you all kinds of challenges right now, remember, you gave him the phone number and you gave him your Facebook friend thing. Okay. So still, you caused it, right? Okay. Then it says, the teachers of God, which I say a demonstrator of love, a demonstrator of love, they have trust in the world because a demonstrator of love have learned that it's not governed by the laws the world made up. Let me give you a good example. I can trust the world because I realize the world isn't governed by the rules that man made up. I can trust this world when I pay attention to the rules, the universal laws of the universe that apply to everybody instead of the rules that men have made up for what is right and wrong and good and bad. So I can trust the laws of the universe. I can't trust the laws of man. They change all the time. And then it goes on to say, the world isn't governed by a power, it's governed by a power that's in us but not of us. So your world is governed by a power that didn't come from you, but it's a power that's in you that didn't come from you. You have a power that's in you that didn't come from you. And then it says, it is this power that keeps all things safe. It's through this power that the demonstrators of love look on a forgiven world. The Course in Miracles defines forgiveness as having a correct perception. It's forgiving you is seeing you correctly. Forgiving you is seeing what's going on correctly. Forgiving you is actually just seeing you another way. So forgiving someone isn't trying to overlook what you think they did because you are such a nice person and you're more highly evolved. It's recognizing at some level that there is nothing to forgive because the way you are feeling is being determined by the way you are feeling right now based on what you're telling yourself right now. So you're not feeling good. It's not really being caused by the other person. You're not feeling good is being caused by your misperception that the other person controls your feelings. You follow what I'm saying? You know, no matter what you think I've done to you, it's you determining how you feel about it and your reaction to it. So your peace has nothing to do with me. Your peace has to do with how you're choosing to see it. Because I promise you, everybody in the world, they're not going to do what you want them to do, how you want them to do it. So if you wait for your happiness and it's based on everybody else acting a certain way, another person acting a certain way, the Course calls this a grievance. That a grievance is hoping that somebody else will be different and then you'll be happy. Or hoping that some situation or circumstance changes and then you'll be happy. The Course says that's a grievance against your whole life because you get up in the morning looking at your life as if there's something wrong with it. So your whole goal becomes all day, how can I fix all these things about my life that I don't like? So that's a grievance against your life. Does that mean that I shouldn't want a really nice? No, I'm not saying that you should not allow yourself to have a really wonderful life. You just need to understand that approaching it from the perspective that everything is wrong and when it changes I'll be happy is just the wrong approach. It's really about let me remove the blocks to the awareness of the happiness and joy and the love that's already in my life, but I'm not seeing it because I'm so busy trying to change everybody and everything. I'm just too busy. I'm just too freaking busy trying to change my life. And so the Course says that's forgiveness. So forgiveness is seeing things in a loving way, seeing things correctly. Any questions or comments about that paragraph, anything I said so far? If not, I'll just keep on plowing ahead. And remember, you're not trying to remember everything. You're not trying to remember everything I say. You're looking for your particular message today from God. Yeah.
Well, Earl, I love in chapter 3, section 5 of the book where it says that forgiveness is nothing than to recognize what you already have.
Yeah, and prayer is your ability to recognize what you already have. When it says that when we pray, we should say, "Let me be able to recognize what I already have. Let me be able to see the love that's already there." That's what I want to see. How do you have something immediately? By recognizing it's already there. If I want to have a digital recorder immediately, I would say to the universe, "I want to have a digital recorder." I'm asking for what's already there. There's love that's already there. There's prosperity that's already there. There's abundance that's already there. There are right relationships that are already there. I'm not seeing them because I'm too busy focusing on the past and the future in my plan. So I need to see what's already there. Everything you're seeking is already there. It's already here. It's already here. Everything you're looking for is already here. It's already here. It's already here. It would be much better to go out into your experience trying to achieve something based on the idea that you already have it than to go out trying to achieve something based on it's not there and you got to make it happen.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And all these are things that the Course is sharing. It will simplify things. You'd be amazed at the power of this material to make things happen fast. It says, if you want an immediate effect, if you want an immediate result in your life, how many of you all want immediate results?
Yes.
Okay, here's the secret. Infinite patience produces immediate effects. Infinite patience produces why? Because if you're afraid about receiving whatever it is you think you want to receive, the introduction of fear is a block to the manifestation of what you want. But if you have infinite patience, which means, you know what? I feel good and life is good and I feel peaceful and I feel grateful with things just the way they are right now. So I know that love is my divine right, happiness is my divine right. It's going to show up. And since I have no fear because I feel peace anyway, then there's no fear to block it and I get an immediate result.
Yeah.
So infinite patience produces immediate results. All the stuff that you're attached to, those are the things you don't get immediate results, because you fooled yourself into thinking that your happiness lies in those things, and the universe would not help you deceive yourself, and to deceive yourself would be to teach you that your happiness is in something outside of yourself. So the more you think your happiness is in something or someone outside yourself, the harder you have to work to achieve it. You're right, because nothing's helping you. Because nothing that loves you would deceive you by making you think that your happiness is based on something you can't have and something outside of yourself. And that's why people work so hard, because the universe literally is not going to help you look for your happiness where it's not located, and it ain't located outside you in none of the things that you think you want. But through loving yourself, you can appreciate everything you have and manifest, so you end up enjoying all of the things that you have. So it's a win-win situation. You know, I would be happy whether I have a car or not. Well then, sure I can have a car because it's not going to be an idol for me. I can actually enjoy the car and not believe that it's God. So the universe would have no reason it would be glad for me to have it, because everything is neutral anyway. So remember, the purpose of this class is to achieve peace of mind, because when you achieve peace of mind, you can hear your own inner guidance. And do you know each person in this room has a voice for God and truth inside of them, answering everything that they think they're wondering about, but they don't hear it? So the Course is basically saying to us that there are just 4 things we need to ask ourselves all the time, which is, what do you want me to do? That's what you get quiet, ask your divine self, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to say? Who do you want me to say it to? He said, those are the 4 questions that are God's plan. The plan of that which created us is for us to start turning to it. It's our relationship with it that gives us the relationships and the prosperity, the abundance. That's everything that we want rests in our connection with our source. You know, and in the West especially, we're so programmed through everything to think that just getting our material toys is the key to happiness. So I always admire any soul that grows up in America, because we have to be so strong to seek any type of spiritual light that has nothing to do with things here, because everything is programming us that it's about things. So if you're on a spiritual path and you come into a class like this and you are an American, I'm proud of you. I'm so proud power. You know? But a lot of times, even what we do is we seek the spiritual path still just to get to material things in and of itself.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like that's why we're showing up in the spiritual class too. It's just that I don't want to work so hard, so I just see if I can get the universe and God to do it. But I want the same thing everybody else wants. But I'm going to visualize that car. I don't feel like working every day to pay that car note. I'm going to visualize. I'm going to tell you, you will not survive the Course of Miracles without a sense of humor. You just want to drop the class and drop the book. Anybody that's here and they just want to be serious, you just need to forget it. You won't. This is some hardcore stuff. Of course, I don't even begin to recommend the Course of Miracles to people who are just beginning their spiritual path, because it's hardcore. And by hardcore, I just mean it's straight up. That's what I like about it. You could spend a week on one paragraph of the Course in Miracles. Because it assumes that if you're here, you've had enough of something, and you're really ready to have a change. And I know that's true for me. You know, I'm so determined to stop fighting my blessings and opportunities, and stop letting that part of me that believes that I don't deserve it. I see it trying to sabotage me right now. I'm watching some of my old habits of my ego to try to limit me, because so many incredible things are happening to me right now, and so many incredible opportunities is bringing up every part of me that wants to blow it by not responding to the opportunities that are being presented to me. And I know from experience that the universe will stop sending it to you if you're not going to do anything with it, not out of cruelty, but because you're showing you don't really want it, because you're not willing to receive it, and it doesn't want to give you something that you don't really want. So I know I need to get off my butt and do what needs to be done, or it's going to stop.
Yeah.
See, so I'm teaching this class so I can overrule the part of me that doesn't know how to love me the way that it should. That's why I'm here. I'm here to learn what I'm teaching. So it's telling me that the way that I see myself is the result of the way that I've learned to see myself. And it just told me that there's a power in me that the world can't affect, that I didn't originate, but I can use. Okay, everybody got that? And that's true of everyone in the room. There are no excuses anymore. Sorry.
Say it again.
Okay, there's a power in you that you didn't create that's waiting to do its thing for you. But all you have to do is remember that the way your opinions and the way that you see things are not necessarily the truth. They're just the way you've learned to see things. And we make the mistake of believing our perception is reality, when perception is just a reflection of belief. Perception is not reality. It's just a reflection of your belief. You with me on this? Listen very carefully. I know you think you're being objective right now, and that you're looking at me, and you think you're like, really, that I'm really here. I'm not really here. I've been gone for years. This is a hologram, you know. I'm partying, so I'm Jamaica right now. And what I'm saying to you is that you are the most powerful thing that has ever been created, anytime, anywhere. And there's nothing that you experience that's coming from anything outside of you, and everything you're experiencing is the effect of your choice. And the good news is that means you can change anything that you're unhappy about today. You can change anything you're unhappy about today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not later on this afternoon. You can change anything that you think you're unhappy about right now, today. Isn't that good news? You can have what you want. You're not limited by anything. You can have it today. Y'all know how to inspire a teacher. I tell you. Y'all know how to make a teacher just feel like he's ready to do wondrous things. So that proves to you that my happiness has nothing to do with nothing outside of myself, right?
There you go.
Okay, we do the next paragraph. That's why y'all still like me. I'm sorry that I told you could have what you want. No, what came over me. But that's what's so cool about the truth. When someone tells you the truth, you get a chance to see everything in yourself that doesn't believe it. So then you realize that it's not an accident that you're not experiencing what you want to experience, because all of a sudden you really see that there's a part of your mind that has no real enthusiasm about what it says it wants. And until you realize that, you'll always be wondering, why isn't things happening? It's a reflection of your own belief. How do you know you have that belief? Because when the universe presents you with the thing that should be the most thing that you would ever want to hear, there's a part that doubts it, doesn't respond to it, can't relate to it. But that part of you that's doing all of that, that's the part of you that's making the reality that you don't like. That's where it's coming from. That self. Isn't that deep? And you get a chance to go, oh, I'm really not a victim. There really is a part of my mind that has no enthusiasm about my life, or doesn't really believe I can be happy or joyful. How do I know that? Well, I keep hearing from Spirit that I can have everything I want easily in a way that will blow my mind if I'll do a few simple things. And there's a part of me that has no enthusiasm about that or desire to do it.
Right.
So that means that there's a part of me that actually believes that happiness will kill me. That there's something wrong with it. That's when stuff really going to go bad, is when something's going good. We all know it goes bad when it's going good. So I'll just be on the safe side, let it go bad all the time, then I'm never disappointed. So I think it's practical and smart to never be optimistic and joyful about anything, so I won't be constantly disappointed. And then I'll just hang out with other people who feel the same way, and then we'll complain together over dinner. Vegetarian. Not realizing that the thoughts I have kill me a lot more than a barbecue sandwich. Like, I'm real careful not to eat the barbecue, but I got these hideous thoughts. I got the healthiest plate of food you've ever seen, and the most poisonous thoughts that God ever created. I'm eating health food I hate by marble. Don't have a problem with that. You can't take this serious. You got to laugh at us. You got to laugh at us. We're hilarious. We're the #1 on the Nielsen's of the gods for the comedy hour. They watch humans. They watch humans. That's what higher beings do. They all get together, they pop popcorn, and watch us and trip out and laugh. Did you see what Earl did last? Another one of his relationships. He's been doing that pattern since he was 3. I found my journal when I was 12 years old. What was when my sister found it. She was going through some old stuff. And besides getting over the trauma, my sister hadn't read my journal. The journal of a 12-year-old boy is pretty intense. It's just coming into puberty. Well, that's enough. I've said enough right there. But I was describing the way I was feeling about the girls in the 8th grade. It's the same way I've still been talking now. It was like tripping me out. It's like, I'm saying the same thing. I said when I was in the 8th grade. It's a trip. That pattern must really have a payoff. It must be an incredible payoff in whatever my pattern is. The pattern you haven't been able to get rid of. Because you know that there are some areas of your life that you let work smooth all the time, pretty much. You got those areas where, I know people that money, that's just not their issue in this life. That's just not their issue. But when you talk to them, they got another one that they're working on, because we all do. We all do, you know. There's certain things you do easily. And if you were to take the same attitude that you have in the area that goes easily and transfer that attitude to the area that's challenging, you see the area that's challenging transform. But the Court says that we make exceptions. Oh, the truth works everywhere but with my boss. The truth works everywhere but with my co-workers. The truth works everywhere but with my partner. As soon as you make an exception, you're saying, I would like to perceive this person as excluded from the power of God to work in this situation. Yeah. That's all you're saying. As soon as you say accept, okay, you're asking the universe to not include that person in the atonement, in the healing, in the love in your life. You don't want any exceptions. None. You don't want any exceptions. You want the truth to work for you in every situation, with everybody. So there's a power in you that doesn't come from you. And so the Course is saying to us, okay, if perception is learning, and if what you are seeing and experiencing and perceiving is a result of what you've learned, I like the word learned, then that means that if you want to have a different perception, you need a new learning. Does that make sense? If what I'm seeing now and experiencing now is coming from my learning, then if I want a new life in any kind of way, I need a new learning. Now, what does it mean by that? It means I need a new interpretation. I need a new interpretation. That's the new learning, is a new interpretation. So how do I get a new interpretation that transforms my life so that I only perceive peace? That's a good question. How do I do that? I get a new learning. Whether it's the Course of Miracles or something else that appeals to you. I give myself a new learning. How did I learn the first thing that I learned? Through repetition. Constant repetition. You're not enough. You're not enough. I'm not enough. We're not enough. It's their fault. It's their fault. And somebody else is trying to change. I learned to see things the way that I see them. I learned to see myself the way that I see myself. If I want a new reality, I need a new learning. If I want a new reality, I need a new learning. And you will not get the new reality by just hearing about the new learning. Do you know that sometimes people come to classes and stuff and they get disgusted because their life hasn't changed because they listen to the way they're supposed to be? Do you know that people generally come to classes to listen to how they're supposed to be, and then they're shocked when they don't get the result as if listening to how they're supposed to be is the same as living it? Yeah. So they get disgusted and say, this Course in Miracles class doesn't work. I've listened to him talk about how I should change and I haven't changed and nothing's changed. I know it's hilarious when you hear it, isn't it? Yeah. I can always tell when somebody hearing the truth. Like, you know, you can't help it because you're so funny. It's so funny. It's really hilarious. Okay, so here's the next paragraph. It says, when this power has once been experienced, it's impossible, I love it, to trust one's own petty strength again. Right. So the ones you trust, it's like the ones you see God work in your life or the higher power work in your life, you won't even try to trust your old ego anymore. It says, who would attempt to fly with the tiny wings of a sparrow when the mighty power of an eagle has been given to them? Like an eagle lands next to me and says, come on bro, let's go man, take you for the ride, come on, let's go man, let's go, I'm take you to the higher plane, let's go. Then a little sparrow comes down, so come on, jump on me. Who am I going with, the eagle or the sparrow? You know what I'm saying? Some of us, we love to fall in love with sparrows. The eagle show up, oh my God, you've been praying for an eagle. I didn't expect one to show up. Look at the size of that beak. Like a beak envy. But I think if there is a hell and I'm going there, all my friends are going to be there, so I'd be okay. That one sounds pretty dull the way it's been traditionally described. It's like, I like harp music, but not all day. Okay. It's like, streets paved to gold, people playing harps. Where's the black heaven? Don't sound very black. Anyway. Where's James Brown? You know, as soon as I get to the pearly gates, I want to say, hey, I hear James Brown going, I feel you good. I would now. Come on in here, Rod. Oh, boy. Who would place his faith in the shabby offerings of the ego? What's the ego? The shabby offerings of the world's mind, the shabby offerings of fear's mind. When the gifts of God are laid before him, what is it that induces you to make this shift? That's a good question. Now, what gets us to do this? All right, so let me get the first part of that. There are like 5 stages in the development of trust. Let me hit stage number 1. Okay, I got a little time. One thought. Perception is learning. Learning is perception. Perception is learning. Learning is perception. What? Perception is learning. Learning is perception. Perception is learning. And learning is perception. Say what?
Cool breeze
I have a body, I have to move it. I'm sorry, I do. I can't do the truth from the neck up. I love everybody. I really do love everybody. I love God so much. I love everyone in this room, but don't touch me. Don't you dare come anywhere near me, but I love you all. I'm the talking head of truth. God is real. God really is real. I call it, it's like I do that, like ribbon. I went to a ribbon dance show last year. It was the most frightening thing a black person could ever see. Not because it wasn't fantastic. I mean, the little skirts alone was worth the price of the ticket. But it's no black person alive that would put the top part of their body still and then just move the other part. So it's like, I was like freaking out, man. It's so hard for me to sit up here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear some funk like that. My body just says, forget you. Shoot, man, when I was in church, they was carrying people out every Sunday morning. They'd be screaming and shouting and running around the church. It'd just be amazing. They had people at my church that especially called assigned, they called matrons. They were white outfits, and they were assigned to hold down the people. When they got really, really happy. Because you could be sitting next to somebody and the Spirit of God hit them and they go, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. They'd be like all over the place jumping. And it's like the matrons have to grab them and carry them out to church and they kicking and stuff. That's why I got my first sex education was in church. I love it when people leave my classes because they're appalled. I'm appalled. I will never be back. Another dull one gone. All right, now. You'll never be surrounded by the people that you love until you be yourself, and let the people who can let you be yourself voluntarily leave. Then you end up with people that all around you that you can be yourself with, and believe me, they're the most fun. Between the two, they're the most fun. It's like, what is a red flag for me? If I say you're my friend and I'm thinking too much before I say what's on my mind. Wondering if I'm going to say it in a way that won't offend you. It's like, who wants to hang out with somebody that's easily offended? No fun there. You know what I'm saying? I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't say this. Can I say that? Can I do that? Well, this is a free friendship. I feel like there's real trust between us. You got one set of friends that if your other set of friends knew you had this set of friends, they wouldn't be your friend. Those are the ones that's really fun. The secret friends, that none of your other friends know that they're your friend. When you go to those people's parties, call me. I like to go to the parties of the renegade, radical, rebellious ones. Yeah, it didn't have my nice, really traditional, because I got a traditional side of me, because I grew up in the world, so I learned what the world taught, and I also learned what Spirit has taught me. So every part of me has a corresponding place in the world that part of me gets fed. And I appreciate all of them. All of them. That's what you do. As long as you don't look for one person to fulfill every need, you can have every need met every day. But we got this crazy system that goes, you're supposed to fulfill my every need on every level all the time. You're supposed to be the one person that I'm with. You represent the whole female side of the gender spectrum. And you're the only woman I'm supposed to spend any time with, talk to, spend any time with at any level for the rest of my natural life. You better be a whole lot of fun, lady. You better be like a party on wheels at all times. You expect me to look to you for every bit of satisfaction at all times. You got to be, plus this ain't a lot of work with low pay. I mean, do you really want to set it up that you're supposed to fulfill my every need? That's the most, what I just shared can be the most liberating thought you've ever heard, and also the most frightening. Because the part of us that wants to possess hates what I just said. And then the part of us that knows it's true goes, yeah, I know it. And I know sooner or later I have to let go of my fear and my jealousy and my possessiveness and all that stuff. But, well, we're eternal, so I got plenty of time. So your butt better be home by 6:30. Don't ever look at no other woman but me, or I'ma blind you. And I love you, baby. I love you so much. I'll cut it off, but I love you so much. I do. It's because I love you, I'm cutting it off. Because I love you. I don't want nobody to love me that much, I tell you that right now. I want all women to hate me if that's the consequence of love, I'm telling you. But we say stuff like that, completely, and with total seriousness, and then say, I love you at the same time. Why did you kill her? I killed her because I loved her. And it makes total sense to us. You know, oh, he must have really loved her. He sliced her up into little pieces. He must love her so much. Oh my God, I'm touched. Somebody quiet. Did somebody just murder somebody? I hope they don't find the body. How did he find out? You know, it's hard to be joyful about stuff you know you do. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I would like to laugh, but I'm the maniac he's described. I'm just looking nice on a Sunday, but they don't know what I did last night. I just threw something at them last night. I know. I'm a failure as a true student. I'm a failure. I got mad yesterday. You're gonna do, he already said, if you're a true student, you're not gonna be able to do this at first. So give yourself a break, give yourself a break, give yourself a break, give yourself a break, give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. You don't have to get this today, but you could get it today. But you don't have to get it today. So how would you empower yourself if you didn't plan to do anything that you were hearing about changing anything? How could you still empower yourself? Here you go. This is how you do it. Say, I take responsibility for not wanting to practice the truth that I'm hearing right now. I'm taking responsibility for still being possessive, jealous, all the things that I do. I'm going to take responsibility for not doing my study, not doing my practices. I'm going to take responsibility for if I go tomorrow to work and get mad and attack somebody, I'm going to take responsibility. In other words, if you're not ready to change yet, just take responsibility for it and just admit right now I'm not ready to do that, and then you would still be empowered as much as a person who was actually doing it. Because the lesson is, would I take responsibility? The lesson really doesn't have so much to do with behavior as it does with attitudinal healing. So if you walk out here today saying, everything that happens to me for the rest of the day, I'm responsible for how I see that, no matter how I act, you would still be waking up spiritually. You hear what I'm saying now? It's about taking responsibility. It's not about what you're taking responsibility for, so much as it's about, I'm going to assume responsibility. I'm not ready to give you the freedom that you deserve as a child of God yet. What I love is that there are people who actually think they have the power to decide that for me. That's the part that hit me one day. It's like, wait a minute, really there's no such thing as a person giving me my freedom. That in itself is a crazy premise. You can't give me my freedom. But I've heard people say, well, I don't know if I want to give them my freedom or not. I don't know. I'm going to decide if I really want to give them that. And then really the only thing that they're experiencing is a person giving them what appears to be power over them as long as they act right. That's the only thing that's happening. The person is letting you think you have some power over them while they want to be special to you, as long as you act right. And if they decide that you're not going to meet their needs, they're gonna repossess. Right? Like people that go out and come out and repossess cars. You're gonna wake up one morning and go, and we're here to repossess all the meaning that you have for me. I'm here to repossess it. Woo! Guess what? You don't mean anything to me anymore. I took all that meaning back. So don't fool yourself into really thinking you have any power over anybody around you because they're pretending like you do right now. Because they want to think that they have power over you. Just play like you have power over each other sometime. That's a lot of fun. I'm gonna pray like I have power over you. Will you play like I have power over you tonight? Yeah, baby. I'll play like you have lots of power over me. And then you play. We're kids. Let's play. Let's play. So the Course says the first thing you're gonna go through is a period of undoing. So this might not be painful, but it's usually experienced that way because it seems as if things are being taken away from you. And initially, it's not understood that you're seeing their lack of value. How can lack of value be perceived unless the perceiver is in a position where he must see things in a different light? In other words, you're not yet at the point where you can make the shift entirely. So if you're not at the point that you can change on the inside, the plan will sometimes call for changes in what seems to be external circumstances. These changes are always helpful. When the teacher of God has learned that much, they go to the next stage. That one paragraph. Okay, here we go. Real quick. Can't believe what time it is. Real quick. You're going to go through a period of undoing. That's the first thing that happens when you develop trust. What does that mean? Well, we make it painful. It doesn't have to be painful, but we usually experience it as painful because when you first develop trust, it looks like things are being taken away from you. They're not really being taken away from you. What's happening is that you've changed your value, and you no longer value the things you used to value, and so they fade out of your experience. But it'll look like, in other words, if you used to value somebody mistreating you, then everybody that mistreats you will seem to fade out of your life. And you'll be thinking people are leaving you, but what's really happening is you no longer value what it is you've been experiencing in that situation or with them. And so then it says, now you got to put yourself in a position where you see things in a different light. And it says that, I love this part, it says, you're not at the point yet where you can change internally. So some of us hear about how loving we should be, but we're not at the point that we can do it yet on the inside, right? And so the Course says the plan will sometimes call for changes in what seem to be external situations. Basically saying, if you don't change from the inside voluntarily, then there's going to be external situations that you're going to go through that's going to learn. Like, for instance, the people in Japan right now, a lot of them are learning that their material things is not where it's at. They're learning that that's not real and that can be gone in a second, and that's not what you should really be focusing on. And I haven't heard a person yet say, when they interview a person that lost their house, say, I want my couch. They go, I'm looking for my loved ones. The first thing they go is they want to know that their loved ones okay, their relationships okay. I don't hear them saying, where's my bicycle? They go, oh, I can replace those things. So why don't you voluntarily come to the realization that material things are not the answer, so that you don't necessarily have to go through that yourself, and you can learn from another person's experience. See, but I'll be attached to my stuff and overlook that lesson. And so what I need to do while my stuff isn't gone by to Tommy, that's what you pronounce it?
Tsunami.
Okay, but to some it's his cousin. They name all these things, name hurricanes, my name to some.
Forget that.
I know when I said to some, that sounds like my cousin. So I voluntarily want to come to the recognition that it's relationships and love that's important, more so than the material things in my life. So I can go ahead and enjoy those things without making them an idol and not create situations in my life or seem to attract situations in my life that I have to have that revealed to me through what appears to be the loss of it. So the thing that you want to walk away then with, if you're going to have external situations change so that you will make an internal shift that will make you happy, then the way that you do that is to say changes are always helpful. Changes are always helpful. Changes are always helpful. Didn't say every now and then helpful. Said changes are always helpful. And when you learn that much, you go to the next step. Would you acknowledge yourself right now? Because that's something I want to cover right at the end. That I want to, the one thought I want you to take out of here today. Okay, let's do the love offering. Thank you for sharing with me, Holy Spirit. Tell yourself that the changes that you're going through in your life right now are helpful. This change is helpful. I hate it, but it's helpful. I don't like it, but it's helpful. I love it, but it's helpful. So I would chant today, and I always like to end on the chant. The chant today is changes are always helpful. Changes are always helpful. Changes are always helpful. All right, and I want you to breathe with that. And I want this is a song that's about going beyond any limits that you think you have.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again? Do you ever feel so paper thin, like a house of cards, one go from caving in?
Changes are always helpful. Changes are always helpful. Now I need to get to ask whoever feels like putting some energy in their bodies to be willing to say it out loud with me, loud and go, changes are always helpful. Changes are always helpful. Say what? Changes are always helpful. If you want to move, you can do it. Changes are always helpful. I say changes are always helpful. My changes are always helpful. My changes are always helpful. I say changes are always helpful. And the other is perception is learning. 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 And changes are always helpful. Changes are always helpful. Changes are always helpful. Changes are always helpful. I say changes are always helpful. I welcome changes. I welcome changes. I welcome changes. Welcome it. I welcome changes. I welcome changes. I welcome changes. I welcome changes. I rest in God. 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 I rest in love. I rest in love. Say what? I rest in love. Say what? I rest in love. I rest in love. I rest in wealth. I rest in wealth. Claim it. I rest in wealth. I rest in wealth. I say I rest in health. I rest in health. I rest in. Now remember, enthusiasm creates. So those who feel like saying it, I want you to really say it. Those who don't want to say it, it's okay to listen. But those who are willing to say it, don't be bashful and shy. I rest in God. I rest in God. I rest in God. I rest in God. I rest in truth. I rest in truth. I rest in truth. Now claim the most important thing and go, I am innocent, innocent, innocent. I am innocent, innocent, innocent. I am innocent, innocent, innocent. I am innocent. Now say it to someone else. I am